I'm well connected with the
Slid straight in there, like you slide in those DMs. You know?
I know.
Slid straight in the hotel.
I've been informed days in advance. But one thing I want to ask you before I forget, Anthony Joshua did say something very interesting. Your agenda for the card was to have a British, Irish versus the American.
He said he didn't want to do that.
Yeah, he said he wants to build.
He wants to unify.
Build the bridges. So is that?
Well, tough.
Is that something you guys are considering?
No, I mean I still want to put, Brits on one. Obviously, look, we're in the US. We're live on DAZN, but we're also live on Sky Sports in the UK, and he's a Sky Sports fighter, so we want to give UK fighters opportunities to be in big fights on the card. So maybe not so much like a UK v US enemy zone, but there will be a lot of British fighters on the card.
In terms of Joshua's invading the U.S. market and also yourself, I know you guys have been doing this over a year with the DAZN Matchroom. Do you feel like there's like a misconception in terms of like us American media outlets in terms of criticizing Joshua?
Well, I think the Fury thing's helped because people realise it's not like, what are you going to do now? You're going to accuse Fury of ducking Wilder? They will. Yeah. But also, he's made a business decision. He's got a big deal with Top Rank. He's obviously making a lot of money to have a nothing fight. It's not great for the sport, but he's made a decision. Our decision was based on, we couldn't really get a chance to do a deal with Deontay Wilder, and we want to do it. And I'm hoping that the Fury situation will actually lead to the Wilder-Joshua fight, because there's no reason now why that fight shouldn't be made. We should be talking now and closing that fight. So hopefully they will allow us to do that.
As a promoter, maybe you could give us a better in-depth answer when Frank Warren mentions how him and Fury didn't have no control in terms of who they fight next. In other words, Top Rank and ESPN had basically have all control.
But then Frank Warren has no control over Tyson Fury's career.
Okay.
That's fine if they want to do that. I mean, I would never align myself to a promotional situation where I didn't have any control over what Anthony Joshua was doing, like in terms of input and decision-making process, because ultimately the fighter has to be the boss. The promoter should never be the boss. You should never have a relationship with saying, you're doing this. No, don't work like that. You go to the fight, and actually that's bullshit as well. Yeah. Like, you don't, if Fury would have said to Top Rank, no, I'm taking this Wilder fight, then the Wilder fight happens.
Yeah.
But he and Frank Warren are happy to fight a nobody or a lesser opponent for a lot of money, because they think that that's, to come out and say, well, we're looking to get Tyson Fury some exposure in the US. He's just boxed Deontay, he rose from the dead. I mean, that thing went viral everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's lacking exposure after that fight. They should be doing the rematch. So no, I don't. Frank Warren's just trying to palm off the blame onto other people. But the reaction's not been good, because ultimately the fight was ordered. Do you know what I mean? It's not like Joshua Wilder just trying to make it. This was ordered. There's no excuse. So, but he made a business decision and he went the other way.
Before we go with that big fight today, press conference, Canelo, Danny Jacobs. I didn't even know this, but you have a lot of. You're into. I didn't even know that you're half Mexican now. You're
really
into Mexican
after
music.
Saturday,
You was dancing. What was that about?
I've got to say, I had the most amazing time in Tijuana. Like, not socially. I'm talking about from a boxing point of view.
Okay.
Because the energy that was in the arena. Rios and Soto boxed at
that was a great fight.
Great fight. They boxed at 7:15. Mate, the energy, the people, it is completely in their blood. And I loved it. It's exactly what I want as a promoter. Forget the money. I want the atmosphere. I want people that come, they enjoy the event, and they love their boxing. And I want to go back to Mexico ASAP. Shout out to JC and Fernando at Zanfa Promotions, our partner in Mexico. We're going to be doing big things.
There you go. Now, in terms of this fight, Canelo Jacobs. When I think about this fight, right, I think about this transition of a new era, because the era that was in boxing the last 10 to 15 years was that a fighter like Floyd, he changed the game in terms of, in order to make money and to be successful in the boxing game, you got to be undefeated. I'm looking at this fight, the magnitude, the way it's well received with the fans, that you don't really have to be undefeated to make these type of fights.
You don't need to be undefeated anymore. Yeah. I think that's a fallacy in boxing, really. Okay. I think you just need to be in the big fights. But of course, promoters, trainers, managers, you don't want your fighter to get beat. It's never the plan.
Yeah, of course.
But if you're beating a big fight, it's okay. Look, Danny got beat on the scorecards by Gennady Golovkin. It actually raised his profile. It actually put him in a position to go out there and sign a big network deal, and it makes him a lot more credible in this fight as well. So like, when you lose in elite fights, it don't really matter. You always want to win.
Yeah.
But if you're losing to Golovkin, if you're losing to Alvarez, it's
no shame.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's the way you lose as well.
There you go. We're here with also one of the best trainers in the world, Coach Andrade. I know he's not going to see the game plan, but the way I'm looking at this fight, right? The last time
sounds like we should be bringing you on the team.
Well, we'll figure that out down the road, right?
Yeah.
The way I see this fight, right? I know that Jacobs and Coach Andre, they have a great chemistry. I know he's got a lot of bag under his sleeves, but the way I see it is, right? Canelo hasn't fought a southpaw since 2014 against Erislandy Lau, right? Jacobs could switch it up southpaw, which he did against Triple G. He had success. Also Derevchenko, but I think he did it mostly with Triple G in spurts, right? Do you feel like that's the ultimate downfall for Canelo if Jacobs goes southpaw?
I think that you're asking the wrong person.
But
I think that
as a spectator,
the day I start talking about boxing tactics is the day fighters should start talking about promotional and TV, which is never. But as a fan, as a fan, I don't know too much about the southpaw and the orthodox stance. Not in terms of what they are, but in terms of in this particular fight.
Okay.
But what I'll tell you is Jacobs is unbelievably smart fighter.
Okay.
And he's an unbelievable counterpuncher as well.
Of course.
And I think the styles mix up so beautifully in this fight that, like, I wouldn't be surprised to see a convincing win for Danny Jacobs in this fight. Like, it's a 50-50 fight, don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me. Not if Danny took him to school, but if Danny was technically too smart on the night. And by the way, Canelo is unbelievable. He's a brilliant fighter, pound for pound, one of the top fighters. But Danny just sees things, and I've never seen so much confidence in a fighter going into this fight. It's like he knows. It's not going, I'm going to do this, No. It's just when you talk to him, it's like that inner belief that he's always, since we signed Danny Jacobs, he's always said to me, just get me the Canelo fight. I will beat Canelo, I will beat him.
And credit to you, because you made that promise to all of us, and to make it happen. Like it's like a happy moment for not just yourself, but for Danny Jacobs.
Always, because when you promise something to a fighter, you got to deliver it.
Yeah.
And sometimes things happen outside of your control. It means you can't deliver it.
Yeah.
So, and with the whole point of signing with HBO was to get the Canelo fight or the Triple G fight. Obviously, HBO went, the Zone came, Canelo went, Danny came together. And we're here, so it's great. Listen, now we can relax. I've done the job, and now it's up to the fighters and Andre to go and deliver.
I talked to Demetrius Andre on the phone probably 3 days ago, talking about his latest fight update. And I don't know if he told you this, but he told me, so I'm going to let it out right now. He said he wants to fight in the undercard for Miller and Joshua.
Demetrius Andre, you are not an undercard fighter. He wants to box on a Joshua. He's like, since I signed him, he goes, I just want to box on a Joshua undercard. I'm like, why? You're a main event fighter.
Right.
I said, you are headlining at the Dunkin' Donuts Centre in Providence, Rhode Island, on June the 22nd. Don't worry about boxing on the undercard at 8 p.m. when people are in the bar on the Anthony Joshua card. You're the WBO middleweight champion of the world, 2-weight world champ. No, Demetrius, no.
I think with him, the way I talk to him, I think he just wants to be an undercard just to get that exposure, knowing that Joshua's bringing a lot of Brits.
But it doesn't matter. There's nothing like headlining your own card in your hometown.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? We need to establish. The one thing that Demetrius has always lacked is that profile, right?
Correct.
So when you're selling someone as a great fighter, 2-weight world champion, as a world champion, you don't put him on an undercard. You headline him in his own town in front of as many people as possible and saying, this is a contender with Jacobs, with Canelo, with Golovkin, and that's how he's got to position himself. He's a very good fighter.
That's what a real promoter is.
Yeah, no, like I always say, I might be an American president and everything, but I respect Eddie Hearn, Matchroom,
He says
my
it all
friend
the-
Anthony
he says
Lever,
it.
because you guys are coming into this market. You don't have to provide boxing for us over here. You guys can stay in England and just do what you got to do over there.
Hey,
But
listen,
much respect.
if you want to be big in the game, you've got to come over to the US.
Yeah.
And like I said, Mexico was unbelievable.
It is.
The one thing lacking in the US is just a little bit of passion for boxing from the fight fans. Like, there's a lot of passionate people, but like when I look in the arena, I don't see sometimes what I see in Britain and what I saw in Mexico at the weekend, which was like boxing is life
Yeah.
attitude. You know?
Yeah, I agree with that too. Because when you look at Mexico and England, it's like all the fans come when the doors open, and over here it's like
you
doors
know-
open at 4,
Yeah, no,
and
but
everybody
yeah,
comes like
exactly,
at 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Do you know the amazing thing about Mexico was that everybody seems to carry a bottle of tequila with them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's it.
So like we're sitting at ringside, and people who work for the promotional club, Zamfo, who are unbelievable. It's like
Tequila, yeah.
that. It's like
Oh, yeah, there was
shot-
actually a
shot-
video
shot
drinking tequila.
It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
yeah. And not just that, people working on the production
Yeah.
of the TV.
Yeah, yeah.
There was like this one person, I won't say it was. No wonder the atmosphere was so good.
Eddie, when is your birthday? I'm gonna send you a personal
8th.
bottle. June the 8th, I'm gonna bring you a bottle called mezcal.
I just had some Muscat.
Oh, all right. So I'm gonna
House.
get
Yeah,
you
yeah,
something
yeah.
called
Yeah.
pulque.
Okay,
It's a fruit alcohol.
okay.
I hope you love it. All right.
I'm just getting over the heartburn from 3 days in
Oh,
Tijuana.
you still feeling it? Oh, no.
That was a great time.
Man, Mexico. Like I said, this is the start for the press conference. So I know you're busy. I'm gonna let you go, Eddie.
See you there.
We'll see you there, Coach Andre, and the one and only Anthony Lever. There you go.